This episode of Spilling the Tea is dedicated to the memory of Andy Garcia. May he rest in peace. Just a friendly reminder, the community-driven silent auction is still active until June 6th at noon CST. Links are in the description box down below. Thank you.
Hey, hi, hello, and howdy. I'm Mushmellow, and she's
Kristen!
And you are here with us at Spilling the Tea, the dysfunctional diamond painting talk show where no topic is too taboo and no drill is too sparkly. From everyday crafting chaos to community controversies, we are serving up piping hot tea with a side of sass, spooky vibes, and zero filters. So, whether you're here for a laugh, the drama, or the brutally honest opinions, this is your safe space for unhinged craft talk. Let's dive in to today's episode. So, Kristen, let's start off with the tools of the trade. What are you working on today?
Well, I am working with my adorable Care Bear cup. Thank you, Dr. Pepper. Inside, I have my Zap Designs pen, lovely pink and black themed. I have my ephemera 3D tray, and Mushy's going to list all of the stuff in the description box down below. And I have, these came from the mall, but these are my cute little strawberry shortcake and Care Bear bracelets, Bee's Crafty Corner release papers, cover minders from a subby, and yeah, that's it. I'm not working on anything important. Nope.
No.
Oh, good. Oh, and I did forget to mention that my canvas's name, this is Lovable Larry. Yeah. This is Lovable Larry. That's his government name, and it's the name we're going with. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came around to finding it lovable. I knew you'd like it. You're welcome.
He's got a face only a mother can love.
And you happen to be a mother, so what a coinkydink. What I have right now is I'm working on the canvas itself I'm sorry, I had to take a note out because I didn't commit this to memory and I don't want to. Empress Floofy Elizabeth Fluffer Nutter Snugglebug of Persia, otherwise known as DAC's In Charge by Eau Claire Studio, has been renamed, not by me, but I'm required by law to say that name. I'm also using Bee's Crafty Corner papers and Spilling the Tea and I don't know, some other cute crap. And Care Bear washi tape.
Oh, yes. Magical.
And then Zap Designs pink and black pen. Might look similar to Kristen's. No. Ephemera 3D Deep 6 tray in the color gray. And I have my mug. I kind of want to tip it too much, but you can kind of see it's all Michael's expressions. Happy, sad, angry, calm, and I do have coffee up in there. And I have a little cover minder that says, "Is it Friday yet?" that I got as a gift from a subscriber. And haha, I got something Kristen doesn't. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Wait, no. What? We didn't talk about this. What are you talking about?
I have something you don't have. So I'm not going to go into great detail here, but I just kind of wanted to mention I'll be using Reed's Diamond Art Putty, and I got a collaboration coming to you soon. Check it out. Sneaky Peekersons. We got Jason masks and Ghostface, and it's in spooky colors, black and red, and I'm so cool that Tammy at her shop, which will be linked down in the description box below, the collaboration effort comes with not only the putties in the colors that match dark and creepy diamond painting and some of the spooky shapes, also a spooky cover minder resin. Yes. Suck on that,
Mm.
Kristen.
Wow,
Collaboration deal.
you are truly the most special person on the internet right now. Oh wait, no you're not. That's
What?
right.
What are
What
you?
is this I see? Mm-mm-mm. I
Yes.
have some cute butterfly putties and but wait, there's more.
No.
Mm, unicorn. That's
Are you?
right. You're not the only special one. You are the
No.
most loved. Na, 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 na.
No. How could they do that? They're collabing with. How did you keep that from me, you Bratilda?
I'm sorry. All I hear is a bunch of shuffling noises. I can't hear anything you're saying over my awesomeness. Thank you. Thank you. But
Oh my god.
I am using Reed's putty in my pen, just not these ones because I have not stabbed into them yet.
Yes, me either, because I'm gonna do a video where I get to show off my collaboration with Reeds.
Mm,
Mine.
not if I don't make a video first.
Oh, you wouldn't dare.
I don't know. I'm feeling a little under pressure right now with just the end of the school year and I feel like I'm kind of behind on videos. Do you ever feel that way too?
Oh my gosh, I feel under pressure from all directions all the time. It never ends. It never ends. I mean, maybe we should talk about it.
Maybe we should talk about that right meow. What do you think about that, Princess Fluffernutter?
Meow.
Ugh,
Now that we've talked about under pressure, I can't get that song out of my head. Under pressure, running down on me. Na na
don't
na na na.
don't be singing. You don't want the YouTube police coming for you.
Yeah, I can sing because it's karaoke and parody.
Oh,
Fair use. Suck it. All right, so yeah, let's dive into today's topic: the pressures of having a YouTube channel.
yes. And this also could apply to other areas of life or if you make content on a different platform, but just because we mainly are on the, as you would say, the tubus of ubis, we will be mainly referencing, the pressure that we feel being on YouTube, but it could apply to lots of different areas of your life. So don't feel like if you don't, oh, I'm not on YouTube, this isn't going to apply to me because I bet something will strike a chord or make you go, oh yeah, no, I felt that before. Because I don't think anybody is completely immune to the pressures of just being in existence.
Facts, but it also will give you, like, I think, a good insight, at least from our perspectives. It's like a peek behind the curtain because I see it with people who just newer creators who are like, oh my gosh, I could do this too. I could just pop on. I'm already diamond painting. I can just pop on a camera. I mean, I thought that in the beginning too. I was like, and even Sundown and I were talking about it, and he was like, "Well, you could do that. I mean, you're already diamond painting. What's the harm in just throwing a camera above you and popping it on and seeing what can happen?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Sounds easy enough, right?"
Famous last words.
And I think a lot of people, especially newer creators, go into it with that mindset of like, and it can be for some people. I suppose, it could be that easy, turning on the camera and whatnot. But I think as you start kind of getting into it and you're enjoying it, and you start noticing people coming around to watch your content, and then and it's not just you talking to yourself on the internet, it's you talking to actual other people. I think that's probably the beginning of, like, the bottom stair of Pressure Town, like, heading to Pressure Town. Does that make sense? Like, you go from no pressure, "Well, I'm diamond painting. I'll just turn on the camera, jibber jaw. I'm sure nobody's really gonna see it. Not too many people are gonna see it anyway." But then you start looking and you're like, "Oh my gosh, people are seeing it and they're responding and commenting and asking questions, and it just it's a slippery slope.
It is, and I think I think as creators, we put pressure on ourselves probably more than any other avenue. Like, it's not even people putting pressure on us or companies or shops or whatever it might be. A lot of it is self-induced pressure. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I think too, when people are watching and they're interacting, then you kind of feel like, okay, now I need to make sure my is my sound good? Can they see? Because people will make comments and they're not trying to be mean, but they'll be like, I couldn't see what you were doing, or I couldn't see the label, or can you tell me what canvas you're working on? Oh, I can't find that. I'm so bummed. And then you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, I'm letting people down, which, yeah, I mean, you're not, but I think a lot of it is so self induced. And the more people that watch and the more people that interact, then you kind of get this mindset of, I have to. I have to be there for the people because, the people need me.
Well,
And
yeah, I mean, it's like, you kind of get that sense of um almost like I consider it like a responsibility. It's pressure of a responsibility kind, for me anyway. I think it's different for everybody. Really,
yeah,
like what kind of pressure they feel and where it's coming from, and if it's, actual pressure or self-induced pressure.
yeah, I think too, we always, and I know we've talked about this before, where you want to make sure you're giving correct information when you're talking about something, because we don't want to go out there spreading misinformation. And chances are, if, let's say, we're talking about something on a video or whatnot, especially if it's diamond painting related, like it's a shop or something, somebody's going to ask a question, and we want to make sure that we can give the proper answers if we have them. And sometimes we don't have the answers. And, it's just one of those things where you want to be looked at like you're a trusted source and an honest source. I know, we've talked a lot about that, where, like, if you're doing a post review or you're opening something, you have to mention the good and you have to mention the bad. And even if that kind of makes a shop angry, or it maybe doesn't paint them in the best light, at the end of the day, you know you kind of have the self-induced pressure to be honest, because it's your reputation on the line. I mean, if people think that you're gonna lie and try to sugarcoat things so you can get in good with a company or whatever, then people aren't going to trust what you say.
Yeah, I know, I agree with you totally. I mean, it's a really harder position to be in than I think a lot of people expect, because again, on the one, it all really depends on what kind of creator you want to be, really. I mean, I think what we're saying, that for us, we want to be honest. We want to be honest. Our word means a lot to us. And uh part of the being honest is sometimes not nice. There are negatives to things, and we're constantly in a position with other creators, shops, whether they're canvas shops or accessory shops, but we're constantly in a position of, you know I have my thoughts and opinions on this product or item or whatever, and I need to express my honest opinion about it because I'm reviewing it, I'm testing it, I'm using it, whatever. And but it's always a thought in the back of my head, oh man, this is the reality of my opinion. This is the reality of what I'm experiencing with this item or product or whatever. I have to tell people my personal opinion in case, they want to use it to factor in their thought process. But oh boy, this is gonna tick somebody off. Like this might make somebody angry or hurt somebody or offend somebody. So I have that pressure of I have a duty to my subscribers to be honest with them. I have a duty to myself to be true to myself and be honest, my genuine honest self, and give my genuine honest opinions and thoughts. And I have a duty to shops to represent them fairly. It's all pressure.
It is. And I know one thing that, a lot of there, there's all different kinds of creators. And, I'm just going to blanket statement disclaimer. This is that, we are only talking about our experiences right now, how we feel, we're not speaking for anyone else. Every creator is different and how they want to operate, how they want to run their channels or whatever. That is their business. And you and we don't do everything the same either. So I might agree with something you say, and I might not agree in the opposite way as well. But I think another thing, like talking about, like, say, reviewing things, or most things that we talk about, for the most part, like, a lot of it we buy with our own money. It's one of those things where, if I know you've said that if you're trying out a small shop for the first time, you're gonna order as your government name. You're not ordering as Mushmellow, a dark and creepy diamond painting. And because you want to get the same experience and the same, everything, as a, just you're a regular customer. You're not a content creator. You're just a customer, and you don't want to anyone to even feel like maybe you're getting special treatment because you have a channel and you might get that shop, maybe a little bit of business.
Yeah, I know that there are some shops that will see if an order is from a content creator. They'll throw in extra, break them off a little extra something something in a appreciation for the exposure they're gonna get or hope to get. Or maybe as I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm assuming that there are some that are thinking, well, if I give them extra, they'll say really nice things about me, no matter what type of thing, or they'll owe me, kind of thing. And so yeah, I absolutely, a majority, I can't say it's happened every time, but a majority of the time I do order first with my government name. So I am sure to get the experience that anyone else would get, regardless of their, if they have a platform or not, and the same products that anyone else would get.
Yeah. And so, do you feel like you constantly need to be shopping to find the newest tray company, the newest pens, the newest putties, the newest? Do you feel like if you are constantly using the same supplies, that people are gonna, I don't know, get bored of seeing you use that? Because I know there's a lot of talk about, like, you have to get the newest pen, this brand new company, nobody's ever seen this company before. And I don't know about you, but I don't have an unlimited budget to be buying diamond painting supplies and diamond paintings every week. I can't be showing, look at all the stuff I bought this week, guys. Because number one, I have bills and responsibilities, and number two, I kind of also feel like I can't use everything that I'm gonna buy if I'm buying stuff every week?
Yeah, man, that's kind of a complicated one, because yeah, I feel very much like people always want to see something new and different. Everybody kind of wants to see what's the new shop that's popping, what's the new accessory, or people are always looking for what's new. Um but I am the sort of person that, like, when I find something I like and that works for me, I sorta get stuck there. I don't I don't want anything else. Like, I already have, well, if it's not broken, Why try to fix it? Why keep looking? But at the same time, I know that, there's is take the e-painter pen situation,
Mhm.
for example, or what were those forever young trays everybody was talking about, and people are out there looking for opinions on those, and or a new shop. Have you tried this shop? Oh, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. I've seen other people, but I want to hear yours. And that does create quite a bit of pressure, I feel like, because I'm not my channel is not of the size and does not generate the income as, say, a larger channel that's been around for 3, 5, 7, 10 years and has, tens of thousands of subscribers. I don't generate. And so, when they see it on one of those channels, oh gosh, this new drop, this new line at this canvas company, these new items from a XYZ shop. Um yeah, I feel the pressure to review it and want to be, catch some of the catch some of the views from it, help give my 2 cents for anyone who happens to want to factor in my opinions on it. And but I just don't the channel doesn't generate enough revenue to keep up with that. So I do kind of feel pressure in that regard, and specifically with horror based and triple X based stuff, because not too many other channels do that on a regular consistent basis. I feel like I always have to be like on the lookout, ears open, eyes open, listening and looking for new places for us in that niche to find stuff. So, yeah, but I don't know if that's a self-imposed pressure. It's kind of it's self-imposed. Sometimes it's community imposed. No offense, you guys, but sometimes it can be when somebody specifically asks you, "Have you seen this company? Can you get something and review it?" Doesn't happen often, but it does sometimes happen. And it's not that I mind. It's just I'm not making the mega bucks like maybe bigger channels are. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I can do it, but it's gonna take me a while to save up for it. I think there's a big misconception about how much income our channels generate in general, but that's a whole different topic. And then I get pressure from, like, the algorithm and stuff in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
trying to stay relevant. So you've got to talk about the relevant things. And if this new canvas shop, this new tray, all that is what's popping and what the algorithm is promoting and supporting, then I don't know. Yeah.
Well, and I think too, if you do review some new product or, you catch the beginning part of it, you can get, an influx of views, right? And you kind of noticed that when you did the e-painter. And so, definitely the algorithm likes it when you have a kind of a quote unquote breakout video. But then it's almost like your channel gets punished and isn't get promoted as much when your next video doesn't get that many views because it's, just a quote unquote regular video. It doesn't have some new hottest related product, blah blah blah. And I think the algorithm is a huge added pressure maker to the equation because if the algorithm doesn't push your videos, then people may not know you have a new video. And then, they're gonna get promoted to someone else, and then your channel's not gonna get views, and you're gonna think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting views? My last video had X views, but this video only has this views, and it's a really convoluted system. I know you've been a victim of
Mhm.
algorithm multiple times.
Yeah. It is yeah, I think a lot of the pressure does come from that because I saw it happen when I kind of brought Raven Diamond Art to YouTube. Raven Diamond Art was very popular and stuff on TikTok, but I hadn't really seen too many people. I think one or two videos about it on YouTube, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do a big haul, and I'm gonna show. I have a horror channel. This is a horror shop. It's a match made in heaven. And of course, that video for for the size of my channel at the time blew up. I mean, I wouldn't call it like a traditional viral video and that it didn't get millions of views, but for how small my channel was at the time, it blew up in my eyes and in the algorithm's eyes. So then when I did a next video that wasn't a big haul of a newer to people shop that nobody had heard about and everybody was interested in, and that was, the word was spreading, then the algorithm kind of spanked me a little bit and was like, this video is not nearly getting nearly as much as attention as your last one, which happened to be the Raven Diamond Art, 10 canvas haul or whatever. So we're going to snuff, we're going to bury, we're going to like stifle, we're going to promote whoever else is doing Raven Diamond Art now, because that seems to be really popular. And I'm like, okay. So we do kind of, if we don't constantly get, have videos that are super popular and kind of take off, then our videos then get pushed. Does that make sense? They get, what is the word I'm looking for? Not snubbed, but kind of buried. Kind of get buried, and it brings other people forward who are now doing videos on the popular stuff, if that makes sense. So it happened like with some of my Rokari videos, with Temu hauls. I'll get lots and lots of views, and then I'll do a whip and chat, and people are like, no, we want to see hauls, and so the it doesn't do as well. And so the algorithm's like, yeah, you're not spending a bunch of money and you're not doing a real popular topic. So we're just going to sit you in the corner. Let us know when you're going to do another really exciting video on a new product that everybody's going to want to click on.
Yeah, it does seem like maybe YouTube and the shops are all in cahoots, and it'll promote, you know, us spending a bunch of money somewhere. Like, oh yes, you're shopping at these companies. I will promote your video. I mean, we have no way of proving that, but I know that it does kind of feel like you, at least YouTube, definitely they send you emails and, hey, look, these other creators in your genre are doing this, maybe you should do this too. And they really try to pit people against each other and almost have you, for lack of a better word, they want you to copy other people's videos. And it's almost like, so I can't come up with my own ideas. They're saying, hey, watch this video, you could do something like that. And they definitely put that thing in the back of your head of, make sure you're consistent, make sure you're uploading on the same days every week, and more videos equal more views. And that's kind of a whole nother level of pressure behind the scenes, because then you're like, oh my, I mean, we were just we were just talking. No, we only talk when we film. Nope, we don't ever talk. uh, but you were saying with your whole, with the losing of the family friend Fluffy, Andy Garcia, which you should mention your what do you call it, can't think of the name,
Fundraising,
the
silent auction.
fundraising auction and everything. You threw yourself wholeheartedly into that because it's a worthwhile cause. And you even said, like, I've been working so hard on all this behind the scenes, and now I'm behind on videos.
Oh
And
yeah, I
is
dropped everything. I
is
dropped
you
everything and haven't filmed at all.
is YouTube going to punish me for grieving a friend, which is such, and I'm not saying you're messed up, but it's messed up that they put that line, like, we start thinking like that is, oh, I know I'm really busy, but oh, if I don't have a video on Monday, then oh, my views are going to be down and people aren't going to watch. Like, how screwed up is that, that we feel like our channels are going to be punished or banned or not promoted just because we have actual real life crap going on. It's a very backwards way of thinking, and I'm sure other people out there who make content or anything have probably felt the same way. But at the end of the day, it there's only so many hours in the day, and like you said, the channel's not paying your bills. So
No.
you kind of have to prioritize, the real people in your life, the family members, the people who need you more, because at the end of the day, the channel could be gone in a week, but the people and the real life stuff, that's always going to be there. But the way that the algorithm, YouTube, make it sound is that drop everything and pump those videos out, because if not, you're nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, it even does, like, in the dashboardy situation, there's like red arrows that point down if your video is not doing as good, and green arrows, then check marks that show that you're doing better than the last one or the other ones like it. And there's like bells, whistles, colors. And if you go with the desktop like studio to look at stuff, there's always stuff like promoting for your next video. Try to find what's trending right now is drama or this company, or and it's basically saying you need to kind of do what people think is popular right now, or you're going to lose exposure and therefore potentially lose subscribers. You're going to not be exposed to new subscribers. You're going to get buried in preference of those people who are doing more popular topics. And it's like, but I made this channel to do what I want to do. And it very quickly, if you read all the materials that are presented to you in emails and on the studio and stuff, it very quickly pressures you to try to become competitive and copycatty and cheaty. It's almost like it really promotes being on top, being competitive, you know, um, competing with other people. It's I don't like it. It's not a good system. I don't think. I really don't think it
No. And it's hard, because if you do have an honest question, like, for YouTube, you can't just call them and say, "Hello, YouTube, excuse me, could you tell me why, my video impressions are down 10,000 views from the last video I made?" No, you basically get relegated to an automated chat, which I'm pretty sure it's a robot, because
If
when
it's
I've
not a robot, it's someone that copies and pastes from some kind of manual.
because
You know what I mean?
the few times I've had to contact them, they have not understood what I was asking, even though I felt like I was asking basic things. And they don't enforce their own rules. They want us to do all this stuff. They change the rules, they change how they promote things, they do all this stuff, and we have no say in it. And if we have a single question, we can't ask it. We can't get an answer, or it's just kind of like, well, whatever. They put so much, like, just pressure on us to keep making videos. Hey, you didn't upload this week. Are you okay? Maybe you should make a video and cheer yourself up, because they want, if you have a monetized channel, while we might not be bringing in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month, you know, they're still making money off of us. At the end of the day, we're not like special people to them. We are literally income makers for them.
Except the bigger channels, like the really big ones that get plaques and stuff,
Oh,
they
yes.
actually get YouTube contacts, like a YouTube rep that they get to
Oh.
work with, like a case manager type of person that they can directly call if there's a problem.
Well, yeah, because they're bringing in, hundreds of
Millions.
thousands of
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah, but the rest of us were expected to do just as much work and produce just the highest level or closest level of quality content to that as we can without the support that they get. They have teams, like they're big enough to where I mean, I've literally seen videos where they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have my assistant write that down or whatever. I have my editor do this and that." So they have teams of people, and we don't,
No.
but they expect us to try to perform. There's pressure to try to perform at the big dog level with the not without the resources that they have,
Yeah.
so
So how do you feel when you, like, this past week, when you said, I have no videos. I literally have no videos filmed, and I feel so just exhausted, and I don't even have the energy to feel. Walk us through kind of what the like the mental struggle that you went through of, like, should I force myself to make a video? Even though I feel like I'm kind of grieving, put on my as your daughter would say, your filming voice, um, and just power through. How did that feel?
uh it's an internal struggle. I agonize over it pretty much all day, every day. Sundown can vouch for that. If there's, um, because I mean, it's multi-level. There's pressure from myself where I'm just like, I have a diamond painting channel. I want to be diamond painting. I miss it and stuff. And then I think it's self-imposed. Nobody has come at me and said, "Hey, where was the last if Friday went by, where's our figure it out Friday?" Nobody has reached out to me and tried to roast me because I just skipped a figure it out Friday. But, I felt like I know there are some people that really enjoy the series, and I'm like, they're gonna unsubscribe because they're gonna think that they can't rely on me, and not everybody watches every video, or some people just check in once in a while. Maybe there's people that like that series and they don't know what I'm going through right now, or frankly, there are people out there that do not care. They do not care, and that's okay. It happens, but I just felt, oh my gosh, it's kinda like when would go to when you were a school kid and you'd stay home from school because you weren't feeling 100%, and then the whole day you're like, "I should be at school. I would be at school doing this right now. I'm sure I'm getting behind in homework, and this mountain's gonna come home," and I don't know. It was a lot of self-pressure. No one contacted me and was like, "Hey, you owe us a video." But, I was acutely aware that I was skipping out on videos because and I just felt like I don't know, I was going through mental issues with, on the one hand, I'm trying to personally grieve. I'm supporting Sundown, who is grieving. He was closer to Andy than knew him longer than I did, so, I mean, they had a stronger impact, and we've been going over to the Garcia family house, and so I'm trying to be a human, my normal human self, but I also have the responsibility of a channel, and I know that, I I have these expectations, and it was pressure everywhere, and then YouTube, of course, knock, knock, knock on my email door. "Hey, we've noticed you haven't put any content out this week, and usually, you have videos on these days. You might want to consider." And I was like, "You know what? I'll tell you where you can shove your consider."
Which is the right attitude to have in a situation like that. Like, they it's not like YouTube is there to support us when we have issues. So, we should not feel like we are tethered to the YouTube bosses, not that they even know who we are. But we shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, YouTube says that I didn't have, blah 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 this week. I think too, sometimes you just want to sit down and diamond paint, not
Yes.
not not pull out a camera, not make sure the lighting is good, not make sure everything is charged, not make sure you're in shot, not make sure, you have your microphone on, and that you don't say anything that, somebody could take out of context and get mad at you for, or all of those things. And there is a very, very fine line between it being a job and being a hobby.
Yeah, and yeah. I I've said it a lot too. I've said, like, I try to treat it with the respect of a job, because people do subscribe. They do pay for memberships to the channel. So I feel like there's a level of responsibility and a little bit of pressure there too to uphold my end of the agreement. I agree to this extra content when you agree, to pay the membership fee for access to that content. I mean, there's a level of responsibility there which creates pressure. Um, and and that's fine. That's fine. That's something I chose to do. And um but it when something throws a wrench in life and it makes it harder for me than normal to be able to stay on top of those responsibilities at first, even for a short time, the amount of guilt I feel. I was talking about pressure earlier, but it's also guilt.
Yeah.
I feel so freaking guilty. Or when somebody's like, "Hey, can you do a video reviewing this, talking about this, showing us how to use this or do that? Or can you get from this company? I'd love to see one of their canvases before," and the amount of pressure and guilt. And I'm not trying to blame others. I'm just saying it exists. The it's there. I'm not trying to place the guilt blame anywhere, really, you know what I'm saying? But it is. I do. um and I've been in that position. I know I've talked to you a couple times and Sundown. I'm like, when did this become? At some point I didn't realize it. It was so slow, and it was like one of those slow sneaky things where this went from a fun extracurricular hobby that I was sharing with people and started becoming more and more like a job. I can't tell you when or what specifically, if one specific thing did it, but somewhere along the lines, it morphed from, I feel like diamond painting today. Might as well make a video. I kind of feel like making a video too. Let me sit down and just do that. It's been a couple days. To okay, I'm off schedule. I'm behind. I gotta get this out and I gotta get working on that canvas because, XYZ, I gotta get this series going. I need a new episode of that. I don't know where the transition happened. It snuck up and bit me in my bottom, and here we are.
Well, and I think too, with in regards to making videos, unless you have a dedicated filming studio, which most of us don't, or even a dedicated space where you can leave everything set up, so when you're ready, you can just go over to that magical space and not mess up the rest of your house, or, in my case, the dining room table. And you could just do that and then step out of that space and go about your business. Also, there's the added time of, let's say, setting up for a video, even if it's only like maybe 10 minutes, right? That's still 10 minutes. You got to clean up, you got to unset up.
Mm.
But then there's the added thing, and not everybody edits, which you don't have to edit to make videos. Lots of people, they just go live and they don't edit, or they don't do anything, which again is totally fine. It's everybody's own preference what they do. But for, like, how would you say, for an 1 hour video, what would you think that your overall time cost would be for an average 1 hour video? Like, let's say just a whip and chat, nothing that is overly edited or anything like that. What would you say?
Are you talking for all this prep that you mentioned too, like preparing the space
Yes,
and
yes. Like, start before, like, getting all your supplies ready to uploading the video and scheduling it on YouTube. What would you say a 1 hour whip and chat time wise would be? Because I don't know if people who don't make videos or anything, I don't know if they might actually like realize, how much time and work actually is involved.
I was kind of laughing when you said that, we're talking about that. Before I answer, let me just say, I was kind of giggling over here and grumbly because that is one of my biggest kind of things that I don't know, I dread is I do have a dedicated space, but it's not separate from like all the rest of my house. So I have to have times when nobody's outside mowing, making noise, and then nobody's in the house running a laundry machine a few feet from me or a dishwasher or hacking up a lung, sir.
Cats
Or
meowing, animals fighting,
yeah,
children coming into the kitchen, or husbands making sandwiches. Hmm.
yeah, and not only that, but then, like, right now, I have my monster light board here because I have a monster freaking canvas. And to get my background, to do an intro, hey, hi, hello, and howdy, and introduce people to the channel before I start in on something. And if it's something I don't need my light board for, I have to clear all of this off and go put it somewhere. Then I have to unconnect my light board and go put it somewhere safe so that I have access to my actual desktop and background so I can film what I'm going to film. Then I have to go get all that crap I put aside and put it all back until the next day when I have to do it all over again and take it all off, you know? Um, and that is the thing I dread the most when it's like, it's not necessarily I don't want to make this next video or that video, but I have to clear the light board again and move it and unplug it and like, oh gosh. Sorry. Anyway, I divert, but I kind of digressed there, but
But
that is
that's not something that maybe everybody who who makes videos does. I mean, those are standards you have for your own videos, right? I mean, those
it
are
is
things that are
because
important to you. So you're
yeah,
willing to take the extra steps to do it, but it doesn't mean that
that
you're
I
not
enjoy it.
swearing at the light board while you're moving it.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it, but that's what I want for myself. So I mean, it's kind of like, well, you did it to yourself, but also it's because that's the quality level of video. It's what I am comfortable producing. And if I can't produce that, then I'm not gonna, I don't want to, yeah, I like to go through the extra effort. But anyway, a 1 hour video, I would say probably takes me an hour, let's say an hour to film it. Probably even longer than that if I have to get up and pee, if somebody comes home and the dog barks and I have to pause. Sundown has a question, so mom down calls or whatever. So let's say we'll give it like an hour and a half to 2 hours to actually film the video. And then I have to go back through all hour and a half to 2 hours and rewatch it and cut the dog barking, the daughter farting, the Mr. snoring and shoot cussing at somebody in the background because he missed the shot on Call of Duty. And cut out my stuttering, cut out 500,000 uhs,
Right.
and make it more palatable and consumable. Take out things that don't make sense. Oops, I slipped and cussed. Got to take that out. So I would say it's at least another probably hour and a half, 2 hours. So we're at what, 4 to 6 hours. And then I have to take the time to save the video once it's edited, and that takes probably about 20 or minutes or so depending on how long the video is. And then it takes about another 20 minutes for it to upload to YouTube. And once it gets uploaded, so now we're at like between 5 and 7 hours. And then once it gets up to YouTube, I have to think of a creative title that'll catch attention, and explain what the video is about. I have to fill in the description box, and yeah, I can cut and paste from, but I have to go in and change specific things. What I'm using might change from video to video. The canvas I'm working on, such like that. So then you have to do the description box and make sure it's all accurate and you got all the links right and stuff. And then you have to schedule it. So, I mean, literally all day. I guess is the short answer. For me, it takes pretty much all day. I would say anywhere from, for an hour video, anywhere from maybe 6 to 8 or so hours sometimes. It can take longer.
Yeah, I think maybe I have a little less time, but I know you've said you will sometimes rewatch the video a second time, and I personally do not do that because I do not have the time. I pretty much am listening and kind of cutting stuff out of the video while I am probably doing something else. Like, I have been known to have the laptop next to the stove, which is not smart. And I'm like stirring something and I'm like, oh, cut that out, cut that out, cut that out, edit it. Cause usually for me, it's one time through. I don't have the time to go more times than that.
Well, I
You know,
usually do only one time through for generally most stuff, but if it's something that was really heavily edited and I had to move pieces around, to make more sense or whatever, like the spilling the teas, I go through that a final time. I'll do a third watch because it's really important to me that I get it just right. There was a Tales from the Cur Whipped that I did, where I went through and did the voiceover, and I didn't do a watch through of the final edited product. And somebody messaged me shortly after I released it at like 12:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, did you know that your voice, it's garbled? Like there are voice clips overlapping voice clips because of the way I cut a certain area." And because I
um,
didn't go back and watch, I didn't catch it, and it was my voice telling the story over my voice telling a different part of the story at the same time, and it was all
um,
just garble, and I wasted all that time. I had to take it down, go back in, re-edit, re-upload.
so there's also thumbnails, right? Because
Ugh.
YouTube is big on the whole make a thumbnail, make it catchy, make it different, make your title different, make your description box like super special and awesome. And again, that takes time, even if you kind of have a few, go-to reliable things, it's still time that, you could be doing something with your family or doing the hobby that you wanted to make the channel for in the first place, and that would be diamond painting.
Yeah, because you can listen through your video, and I mean, maybe there are people out there that it's not like I want to edit it to make sure let me make sure I don't sound dumb. But there are things that I'm self-conscious about, like the stuttering that occasionally happens now, and filler words like and and there's background noise that I don't like to listen to in other people's videos, so I like to take it out of mine. I don't it's things that I do and don't want for my videos, so it's a mixture of self-imposed pressure, but also I know there are some people that can just turn the camera on and record and immediately upload. They don't want the same things as me. They don't care if there's background noises, if they fart on camera or somebody's cussing or the mowers going right outside their window. To them, that is no big deal. To
Right.
me, it bugs the crap out of me, and we all want different things. So, some of that is self-imposed, but if you watch some of the more popular creators in our space in particular, you can go to any of the larger content creator channels and you will start noticing. They don't have a mower running outside. They don't have curse words throughout their video. They don't walk away from their canvas for 10 minutes to go take a number 2, and leave the camera going. They don't have their dogs barking. It's all edited, it's cleaned, it's polished, it's easy to consume. The visuals are pretty and interesting. There's things and colors and there's a theme on the screen. So I think it's all a matter of what you want. And there are people that do not care and do not want that same thing. I am not saying that I want to be a mega diamond painting superstar. But what I would like is to provide the best that I can, like, as far as polished, streamlined, clean content. Does that make sense? Like,
It does.
it's
You're creating content that is in the style of content that you want to consume.
yes.
While it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to. And I don't think a lot of people want perfection. And I think, how many times do you go, "Oh my gosh, I was blurry, I was out of shot," and people will say, "Yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm not watching. I'm literally just I'm tuning into the video so I can diamond paint with a friend." I mean, I the amount of people that have said that to me is like, I'm not tuning in because, the
Of what's on
video.
the screen.
Yeah, they're not tuning in. I mean, they might want to see something you're working on. They might look up occasionally, but they're not glued to the screen, like you're watching a cinematic masterpiece of a movie. Which, again, if we all are putting out the content that we want to consume, not every person is going to be for every other person. And that's okay. And that's what's so great, is that there are so many different personalities, there are so many different filming styles and everything, that if something somebody is doing isn't speaking to you, there's somebody else out there that maybe is a better fit. And it's kind of frustrating that YouTube wants us all to become robots and just fall in line and follow the formula to all be the same. But the problem is, they don't actually give you the support. If they want me to be a robot, they're not really helping me become that robot. They're just basically telling me, "Hey, watch this video and copy what they're doing." Well, how do I copy them? What about their video is the thing that I should be copying? Is it the filming style? Is it the content inside the video? What
Is it
exactly?
their personality? Like, what do you want? And but we're us. We're not them. So I don't want to copy anybody. I have some generalities on what I like in a video and what I don't. And, like, I try to keep, it's just that's what happens naturally. I want to have an intro, so I'm going to have an intro. I want a thumbnail, I'm going to have a thumbnail. I want a description box that has links and is clear, and so I'm going to do that. I'm not copying off of anyone. It's just something I like overall in general from any video in any genre that I watch. And that's the kind of content I want to provide. Um they should not be having us like, you should do what these people do. That's the
Right.
worst advice. I always tell anyone who's like, "Hey, I'm gonna start a channel. Do you have any advice?" That's the first thing I say is, do not follow that advice. Do not. Everything and everywhere is gonna tell you to copy. That's the worst thing you can do. It not only does you a disservice, it also does you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing the person you're copying a disservice, and you're doing the community a disservice.
Right. I think there's so many. I mean, yeah, there's only so many different ways you can do a whip and chat. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things you can only do diamond drill storage so many ways. At some point there is going to be some copying, some overlap. But I think as long as people are true to themselves, that the viewers and the people watching will see that. And I always, if I get inspired by somebody, I will make sure to say, "Hey, I saw blah 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 do this and I think this is awesome and I wanted to try it for myself." And one thing that was kind of on the list of potential, talking topics we had was what happens when you feel like you almost should change your, like, let's say your style or your what's the word I'm looking for, your channel brand. Like, I know for me personally, when we did this canvas swap, people were like, "You're not going to change your channel, are you?" Because of the style of canvas that I am currently working on. And I'm reassuring everybody, no, 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 we're not going to scary, bloody, gory anytime soon. And I think for me, I have more of a general style, like a more, I don't want to say mainstream, but I can't think of a better word for it. You are definitely more of a niche group of styles, which makes it hard for you to find diamond paintings and stuff. Especially there's very limited things. I can find diamond painting canvases that I could see myself working on in a lot of companies, and you don't have that luxury. And so, do you feel pressured sometimes to maybe change genres or bend what you're working on? Do you think
Yes.
maybe sometimes, like, oh man, if maybe if I really enjoy this cute and cuddly cat, maybe I'll get some more viewers, or maybe more people would be willing to check out my channel?
Not so much that. Okay, yes to the sometimes I feel a little bit of pressure. But no to the gaining more subscribers from a different genre would appeal to. Um, and I get so many comments that are like, I'm not really into the horror stuff, but the canvases that you do aren't really my jam. But I like you. I like listening to you and hearing, what's going on. And I like, some of your series that you do, the Tales from the Crypt or the Figure It Out Fridays and stuff like that. So I come back for you for that aspect, but I'm not here for the art. And when I see, uh, I get that quite a bit, and I'm like, I appreciate that. I appreciate people seeing through and giving it a chance, seeing dark and creepy diamond painting and seeing some horror canvases that they definitely do not appeal to them, and still giving me and my channel a fair shake. I do appreciate that, but I hear it so much that I'm just like, sometimes it crosses my mind, like maybe I should ease up, throw in a little, like, well, coming up soon, you guys are gonna find out. I'm gonna throw the cutesy people a little bone in June.
Yay.
Yeah, no, and seriously, it's gonna be one of those channels, one of those canvases that everybody is gonna be like, "Am I on the right channel? WTF?"
You're gonna have
But
have
it's
the big disclaimer. I promise you're on the right channel.
yeah, it's gonna be a quickie though, a 30 by 40. It's gonna be pretty quick. It's just gonna be a little droplet, a little snippet. But it has me sometimes I do second guess because I'm like, it's so hard to find horror themed because the vast majority of the community as at large as a whole likes to see cute puppies in baskets and old abandoned trucks in front of a country house, or all the cutesy stereotypical canvases, and yeah, so it can get discouraging sometimes and has me questioning. So let me ask you something.
Okay.
Do you feel like when for the channel, do you have a different persona? Do you have, I mean, because Leah she tried to out me. I think it was in a live or something kind of recently. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're using your phone voice or your video voice or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, there goes Sundown laughing. We're moms. We have a phone voice. We are in 1 minute. I told you to clean your room. The phone rings and we're like, hello. Hi. Yes, everything's fine. This is a perfect time. And then you like cover the phone and you're like, you better clean your room. And then you're like, okay, I'm back, type of thing. So we all kind of have that a little bit in us. But are you in your videos, do we see Kristyn, or are we seeing a character named Kristyn?
Oh, I feel like for the most part, I am on video the same I am in person. I use a little more colorful language in person than I do on videos. So I do try to be better about that, just because I don't need the algorithm punishing me for, letting something slip that. And I also too, I try to kind of be careful, just because if you have kids around, I don't want to potentially say something for the most part that maybe isn't child friendly. So if there is something, I might, like, oh, I'm sorry guys, this is really bugging me. But for the most part, like, with the words I say, I do try and restrain myself a little bit. You've heard some things I've said, so you could probably attest to some of that. Um, I try to be positive for the most part in real life. So, in my brain, I kind of think that I'm the same on video. I'm a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I think I'm a little more short tempered in real life than I am in a video. And
Well, that makes one of us. No,
so I do,
that's
and
just you.
my voice is high pitched. I can't make my voice any lower. So as for filming voice versus phone voice versus real life voice, I feel like it's all kind of the same. My husband jokes that it's like, the chipmunk voice. It's like I can't do anything about that. So yeah, I mean, I feel like on video, I'm a little more positive and upbeat. I will say that, because unless I'm really having a day and I say, "Hey, I'm having a day," I feel like people might not. If people are having a bad day, do they really want to tune in and watch somebody who's all grumpy and moody? That's kind of my thinking on that.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm a little bit similar in that, I do try to stay a little bit more upbeat and chipper. I do have that part of my personality. It just so happens that my daughter doesn't often get it because she ticks me off. So she doesn't get the phone voice. And so when she hears me, being genuinely happy and lighthearted and excited, um, she's just like, "Hey, wait a second." And I'm just like, "Well, you know what? Maybe if you didn't have the attitude that you have 90% of the time, you'd get this voice more often too, honey." But um I think I'm the same way. I think, and you can call me out. I honestly, if you disagree, I do keep most of my negativity for off camera. There are times where I something is just really eating me alive, whether it's angering me, hurting me, or in some way upsetting me, where um it will bleed in to a whip-in chat if it's a whip-in chat, or it'll bleed into a tier 3 video. But for the most part, I feel like people watch YouTube videos for they want to see real people. And so I do sometimes share the real raw stuff. But um I don't want to bring somebody else's day down, you know? And it helps me cheer up to come on and know that I'm hopefully helping somebody else get through a bad day. Um and I also have a little bit more of a sailor, a little bit more of a cursy worsy problem. And I do try to keep it cleaned up for the most part. Uh so yeah, I mean, I think I'm the same. I am largely me, but I try to save the best of me. I try to It takes a lot of energy sometimes, especially when I don't feel good. I don't want to get on every day. I don't feel good every day. I don't want to get on every day and be like, "Hi guys. So, I don't feel good again today. Let's whip and chat, I guess." Blah. I mean, who wants that? So I try to mentally prepare myself, and then I'm like, "You know what? We're going to have a good video. You know, game time. Let's do this." And then I summon every ounce of positivity that is lingering in my fibers, and I project it out in my videos as best I can. So,
Yeah, I
is it
think
really me? Yes, it's really me, but um there is I do make a concerted effort to present my best me in every video for others. It's not a different me. It's just you get the best of me.
right, and I think it's an interesting position to be in because you get messages from people and they just, they really hit you in the feels in a good way because they'll be like, "Oh, I'm going through something and oh, your video just made me laugh and I actually kind of forgot about what was going on," or I feel like I'm sitting down at the table with a friend, which is, for me, that was the exact reason why I wanted to make a channel, was because I didn't have any in real life friends to diamond paint with. And I was like, well, if I don't have real life friends to diamond paint with, then I bet other people do too. So, maybe we all can keep each other company while we work. And even though it does feel weird sometimes to just be sitting and talking to, you're talking to yourself, but you're kind of imagining that you're talking to somebody else, right? Eh, it gets so for me, I might, and that was kind of my whole thing with like the whip and chatty ran, right? Because I know myself and I know that I will go off on a tangent and I know I will start talking about a bunch of probably things that piss me off a little bit, right? But my whole thing was, can I at least be entertaining about it? Like, I don't want it to sound like I'm just sitting here complaining for an hour. What if my unfortunate circumstances or the funny things that happen, what if that helps entertain somebody, or I don't know, just help somebody get through an hour of their day? And so I think I don't think you have to be a 100% perky all of the time. I think if you, I don't know, for me, it's if I can have some humor in a situation, then I feel like you can incorporate some of the stressful stuff as well, because we are human. We're not going to be unicorn farts and sparkle for every day like you like
Yeah,
to
our
say.
lives aren't our lives aren't we're human. Our lives aren't perfect. And
No,
I think it's important for people to see that we are human and our lives aren't perfect, and let them know we are real people. We're just like everybody else.
it is very true. I mean, we're not immune to you know, comments or anything, maybe potentially hurting our feelings. Sometimes people don't mean to say something in a certain way, and sometimes they do. And that kind of goes into another topic of the pressures of, you know, we're online. We are online, and you open yourself up to lots of people, different personality types, different mindsets, different everything, and I think it's fine. We all don't have to agree about every last thing, because if we did, then there would only be one diamond painting company, one pen company, one putty company, one one of everything. And so it's great that we have choices, and it's great that everybody can be their own person. But when you have personalities and opinions that maybe don't line up or don't mesh, or they conflict, or insert poignant, I don't know how to say that word, insert floofy amazing words here. How do you deal with the negative the negative aspect, like the dramas, the people maybe you think that are friends that maybe don't turn out to be friends, or maybe a friendship disagreement? Like, how do you deal with that in a public setting?
I don't think I don't think there's a formula for it because every situation's different, and I can tell you how I react. My initial knee jerk reaction is shock and kind of shell shock when something like negativity, drama, somebody who I thought was somebody I felt like I could trust, and they turn out to be somebody different, or something really negative comes out of it. I usually am shell shocked because my brain doesn't naturally tend to go that way. My knee jerk reaction is, what is that? Honey badger? Is that what I'm looking for? An angry honey badger? And I get that all out in private. I don't turn on my camera and just dive in and start. Ringing. I get that out in private. I talk to my friends and my family, and I get my emotions out, whether it's tears or anger or whatever, or hurt. And then I try to handle it um very in the most mature and point blank way that I can. Uh, I try to stay poised, but I will stick up for myself, and I don't want to hurt anybody, so I won't say anything I don't have to. And yeah, I don't know. We're exposed to it more because we are public, because we have channels. So we do get exposed to and targeted more for that.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I think it's hard too, because not everyone deals with things in the same way either. I mean, and the same person, like I might react, 5 times in a row with the same way to deal with a problem, and time number 6, I might react completely different. And so I think sometimes too, when you know somebody, or you think you know somebody, and then the typical way, like let's say for example, you and I, i- if you did something and you were like, "Oh my gosh, Kristen, I effed up real bad. I'm really sorry." And like, let's say I'm like, "Dude, it's okay. I understand. Like, I know you didn't mean to tell everybody that, I secretly love horror movies. It's fine. It's fine." And so if I was constantly reacting that way, and then all of a sudden you were like, "Oh my gosh, Kristen, I'm so sorry. I showed a picture of your secret whip, and it was, you know, I don't know, the cast of, don't know, scary, some kind of scary movie, and I completely flew off the handle." You would be like, "Whoa, whoa, what the actual hell?" Because you wouldn't be expecting me to react that way. You would be expecting me to react in my normal Kristen way of, you're kind of a jerk right now, and you're pissing me off, but yeah, whatever, okay. Like, haha, laugh about it, funny. So not everybody is going to react the same way every single time. And so it does get it gets a little scary to have to deal with potential drama, or something like that, because you don't know how people are going to react. And you don't I know for me personally, I do not thrive in drama. I'm gonna turn everything off and sit on my couch and cry kind of person when drama hits. My
Same.
my heart is going to start beating really fast. I'm going to feel a lot of anxiety. I'm not going to want to touch anything that connects to the internet if it's involved in the internet. Um, and I am literally going to feel like garbage for days. And I think it's hard when, everybody has different ways of thinking, and everybody has different ways of dealing with things, and you know I think we just kind of go about things trying to, be personable and, friendly and upbeat. I think we we're all human and we all make mistakes, but it's how you admit, like, hey, I screwed up, I'm sorry. Or maybe that all went, maybe somebody took that the wrong way, and I'm sorry if it did. This is what I meant. I feel like when it doesn't feel like people are expressing their feelings like adults, um it feels very confusing, because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and you don't want to be caught up in any weird weird drama type things. I mean, there's enough drama in real life. There's enough real life things going on with most people. This is a safe place. If we don't have safe places, then we're not going to want to be on the internet at all. Does that make
Yeah, then what's
sense?
the point? Yeah. And I agree, totally unrelated. And I'm sorry, I thought that you were about to see me run out of this drill, but this is a prominent color throughout this cat here. And what's in my tray? I don't know how well you can see it because it's a dark color and a dark tray. That's all that's left. I fear that
Wow.
I'm gonna run out because if this what how many DAC says what? They have, is it 10,
20%. No, I
20?
think it used to be 20%.
If this is 20% extra than what I would need for what's on this canvas, I call BS because it's all through the darker areas, through here, across the collar. Who knows what is in the other half of this canvas?
Oh, geez.
I may run out of the color 898. It's a dark brown. I can foresee dark brown being in the other half of this canvas. So I just
Hmm.
wanted to share. I thought I was going to run out in this little area here just now. I was like, oh, I might not have enough, but yeah, sorry. I wanted to,
That's all
I
right.
just wanted to interject with that. So,
So, all right, let's wrap things up. Okay,
so we've talked about all this stuff and all the pressure. So you guys might be asking yourselves, why the heck do you guys still do this anyway?
right? And there are days I wonder the same thing. There are days I wonder the same thing.
Me too. There have been days where I've called you up or I've messaged you and been like, Kristen, pretty much begging for you to talk me off a ledge where I'm like, I don't know if I can't deal with this today. I don't know if I want to deal with this. I just want to diamond paint, you know? Um, so why do we still do it? Why do you still do it? Like if there's all this pressure that you put on yourself, and we get some from community, we get some from shops, we get pressure from like all directions, YouTube, and the algorithm and data and all that stuff. So why do we still do this then?
Because we're gluttons for punishment. No, no, I trust me. I am not a fan. And this sounds awful, but I am not a fan of hard work. I don't want to work hard. Like, I take pride in things, but I could never be one of those people that fights for a spot at an Ivy League school. No, no, you all can have it. I will go to community college and I will sit and eat cookies on my couch. Like, no. I- So for me, I feel like the nice people, the people that reach out and, even like, and there's so many people that don't even comment, right? But like, you have to assume that somebody is enjoying watching your stuff. Somebody is enjoying having a friend to sit and diamond paint with. Even if they don't comment, even if they don't like, even if they don't subscribe, there's at least one person out there who's maybe getting something from your content. And that's why I do it, because I know I know how I feel after I watch a video from somebody that, that I like watching. And I kind of feel like, even though I was just sitting here alone in my living room, I feel like I wasn't alone. And and I know everybody's lives are different and everything else. And so for me, I only have a certain amount of time at night to diamond paint, and that also that's also like filming time as well. So
Yeah,
the fact
well,
that
that double, well, triples as filming, editing, and crafting time is all rolled into one because you do it all at the same time.
well, and even if I'm filming, that is taking away time that I could be watching YouTube and diamond painting, for my own kind of stress relief. And so the fact that I'm still willing to do it, obviously it shows that I do enjoy it. Because it would be a heck of a lot easier for me to just be like, no, I'm just gonna go sit in the corner and make sure my tablet's charged, and watch 3 hours of diamond painting instead, or watch 3 hours of true crime. I think it's the people. I really do. I mean, eh, I mean, I like spending money. Don't get me wrong. So it kind of gives me an excuse to spend money and to buy canvases, but I would still do that even if I didn't have a channel, because I just, I like new stuff. Um
Especially when it has four wheels, a gas pedal, and a brake pedal.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Let me tell you. So I would say the people, and as hard as it is to separate the drama in the community from the positivity, I do feel like there are more positive people. There are more people who also aren't buying into the drama than the ones that do. And that's why I do it. What about you?
Some of the similar stuff, but I I always have to ground myself and remind myself, why did I want to start a channel in the first place? And it was because um initially it was because I wanted to make personal connections in the time that I have here on Earth. I mean, everybody's on, I mean, we're all heading the same direction, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wanted to make connections with people, and I wanted to leave, you know, leave behind evidence of me doing something I enjoyed. See if there was anyone else that like I could connect with that enjoyed the same kind of art that I do, or maybe had the same kind of personality as me. I wanted to make connections. Also, um, part of it is like I wanted to kind of contribute to this niche that is in our little craft space. I think severely overlooked and underappreciated. So I wanted to see if I could make a difference in that and contribute to that. The people, the good people in the community is also why I still do it, because look at the situation with Andy. You know, we've been mentioning Andy on the channel since the beginning. And people come and go, and new people come in, and not everybody knew Andy as well as some other people did. And but at the end of the day, um look, there's so much more good that can be brought out in the community than the negative, and I want to be a part of that. I want to contribute to that. I want to contribute to the good, positive aspect that it can exist out here, because we see so much negative. And the I know it's out there. I think about all those people that um do show up, and they are positive and they are nice. Positivity that comes from the community far outweighs the negative. And I'm doing what I set out to do: make connections with people, try to infuse more positivity into the community and into the space. And I want to inspire people to go outside their comfort zone and explore different kinds of art. And that's why I still do it, because I want to leave a positive mark, and I want to leave evidence that I was here.
Yeah, I think no matter what anybody's reasons for doing something are, we all have our different reasons for the stuff that we do, and why one person might decide to make videos might be a completely different reason than somebody else. And you know it's not a one size fits all. I mean, there's room for everybody. There's room for all the shops. There's room for all the creators. There's room for everybody, and I think we all just need to remember that we're all human. We're all fighting private battles. We're all fighting maybe public battles. But at the end of the day, it costs nothing to be kind and to not be a douche canoe. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts on the whole topic is, I want people to walk away from this video and know that we're not trying to point fingers and you pressure and we pressure and us, it's not about, but it's legitimately where pressure comes from. It comes from everywhere. We do it to ourselves. We get it from outside sources. The point is not whose fault is it or who's pressuring it. That is not at all what this video was about. It was just kind of, I guess, shining a light on the fact that what we do does inherently come with some amount of pressure from some source, no matter whether you're a super casual content creator or somebody who's trying to be, I guess I recently heard, professional.
Professional.
Anything in between. There's pressure that a lot of people, a lot of viewers maybe don't consider, don't know about, and whatever, and that we try to push through it the best we can. We try to shelter our viewers from it. At least I do. I try to shelter my viewers from a lot of it. But it is something worth talking about because there is pressure from all different directions, and I don't want anyone who maybe watches content or makes content to feel, if they've felt pressure, to feel like they're alone. You're not alone. We all feel with it, and hopefully you got something out of hearing, that somebody else deals with pressures from some source, and a little bit of how it makes us feel and maybe how we deal with it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, just remembering it, if you feel like you're struggling with something, chances are everyone else is feeling the struggle from something as well. So it's not hard to extend a little kindness, a little courtesy to everyone out there, because we're all going through it. And I know a lot of us diamond paint to relieve stress.
Yeah.
So let's try to keep it low stress and
Yeah, let's
low.
carry that through. I mean, a lot of people diamond paint to relieve stress. So like, let's follow that through and not push that stress onto somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and it's so true. Like, so much of the pressure that we put on ourselves for YouTube is self-inflicted. Absolutely. I mean, if I made a list and I wrote down everything that I was feeling, like in terms of, video making stress, blah blah blah.
Be
At the end of
self-inflicted would be first, right?
the majority of the list would all be things that I'm telling myself I have to do,
Yeah,
but
and
it's
then the
it's
the
not other.
second tier would be probably the pressure we get from the tubus of ubis.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's at the end of the day, I think we all can just take a deep breath, drink something out of a cute little Care Bear mug, and
No.
diamond paint some kind of canvas that you enjoy. And I'm almost done with this section, and I'm going to go work on something that I'm going to enjoy.
I'm almost done with my section, and I'm gonna go work on something spicy.
Could you cover Princess Fluffernutter's eyes so she doesn't see anything she shouldn't be seeing, please? Thank you.
Her eyes are covered, like, right in here, and so is her mouth, and I think it's gonna
Thank you.
stay that way for a while.
Oh, good. You're going to finish up with a nose boop, I hope. Boop.
Uh, Maybe. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and spilling the tea on some things that have been on our minds. We hope that you enjoyed your time here with us and maybe got a little bit of perspective, maybe connected with us on some in some way on some matters, let us know down in the comments below what you think. If you're a creator, do you feel the same ways that we do on some things, or how do you feel differently about it? Are we just talking out of our boo-boo holes at this point in terms of like, I want to hear all the things from creators and non-creators alike. Share with us, how do you deal with pressure? I'd like
Yes.
to know,
Give us some
how do
tips.
you yes, we need tips on how do you deal with pressures and dramas, that you come your way, or that you get smacked upside the head with. Like, what is it that you do to help cope with that? And do you ever have you seen a creator or a channel or whatever that you have either explicitly heard them say, or you watch and you sit there and think, oh, they're burning out, or they're under too much pressure, or has anybody else expressed this and we just haven't come across it yet? Just curious.
Yeah, I've seen various channels, come or take breaks and stuff like that before. Um, and I don't know the specifics, and I don't want to, like, I'm not going to call anybody out or anything like that. But I'm sure it's probably a common thing, but just maybe it's just not talked about.
Well, yeah, I guess that about wraps it up for us. I know Kristen's dying to get back to sunburn, and I uh just can't wait to get back to Empress Floofy Elizabeth Fluffer Nutter Snugglebug of Persia. Yay.
I think you secretly like saying her name over and over and over again. I think you
I'm doing what I was told, okay? I'm saying the name every time I mention the canvas, okay?
Okay. This is lovable Larry. Okay, lovable Larry. Look at his sharpie teeth. Look at that. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Ooh, so so
D-
handsome. So
Yeah,
handsome.
don't you just want to kiss that? Mwah, 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 mwah.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Slip him a little tongue.
I'll flip him something. It's gonna be a finger.
Uh-oh. All right. We have spilt the tea, and now I kind of have to spill the pee. So ready to go. All right, we will see you guys next time. Stay naughty.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
And scene. Oh, thank God I can stop with the phone voice. My gosh. Man, that was hard.
I know what you mean. Gosh darn it.
I can finally go back to using my real voice now.
Well, now I can talk like a hillbilly, like I really am. So
Well,
now I can put my accent back on.
Well, you are from Arkansas, so
That was terrible.
look. It would be scary to wipe your ass if you had hooks for hands. That's the kind of crap I get sent when he's at work.
Just random out of
Makes
nowhere.
you feel better. You are.
Oh, stop. Do not do that to her.
Don't make me get hooks for hands.
Freaking ghosts come in my throat for days. Or sundown's getting frisky after I fall asleep and I'm just not waking up for it.
Oh, God.
Kristen, I'm telling you, this is how it goes every day. I'm gonna kill him.
Oh, I was trying to put cute stuff in the frame to block out the scary, but
Good luck.
Cute.
I sure hope I don't drop my coffee or knock it over onto this wonderful diamond painting and have to trash it. Oh, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, but could you really trash it unfinished? I don't know if you could.
Yes, I could. I absolutely could. So now it's my turn to imitate sundown. That ghost come out of my throat.
All the sniffs.
Boogie free. Ghost come free. Okay.
I am not here for spookiness. I'm just saying that right now. I'm here for cute and cuddliness. So you can have all the spooky. I am here for the cuddly. Thank you.
When it's on your channel, you can say whatever you want.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I will. I will. Thanks. Wow. Yes, definitely don't leave those words in the video.
Ghost jizz. Yeah, no.
It bit you in the bottom. Is that a tick?
It
Don't let those ticks
might
bite
be.
you in the bottom.
Sometimes it feels like it's sucking the life out of me. It very well could be.
Oh, I'm putting them on the wrong one. Oops, my bad. Oh no, the canvas is ruined. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
No, I think you better start plucking and verifying what's underneath.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Once it's down, it's down. Nope. Nope.
Okay. Well, if I accidentally dump this tray of drills and it sticks to every available spot on this canvas, I guess I'll just have to leave it then. I don't have to fix it.
No, your brain can't do that. Mine can.
Cutesy Tuesday or something like that.
Cutesy Tuesday.
Yeah, but then I would have to gouge my eyes out, and I like my eyes too much to gouge them. So don't worry, that's not really going to happen. But I've thought about it.
My brain short circuited. Hang on, I
All
gotta
right.
Oh, that was a lame burp. I'm sorry. Don't keep that in. That was not good. Well, you can't hold in burps or farts because you'll spontaneously combust. So it's a safety measure.
A safety measure, a
It
release
is.
valve, so that you
Yes.
don't get over pressurized.
I
and
learned
burp.
that from South Park. So it's real.
Oh my God. You can do it while we're talking. I don't care if your hand gets in here, as long as you're not being a dumbass.
Yes, that's a great idea. And share it.
Okay. You'll have to hold my hand through that.
I yeah, sure.
Okay, Leah will have to hold our hands through that.